Welcome back to Pixel Perfect Marathon 2, and it is our final run of the evening. But don't worry, it's going to be a fun, colourful, bumbling run of joy as Claudio is here with us, and he's running Rayman Origins. Take it away.
Hello, my name is Claudio, mostly known as Cloud, and I'm going to be running Rayman Origins 80%. First of all, my English is not going to be perfect since I'm from Mexico and it's not my main language, so take that in account. So I'm still learning things, so yeah, take that in account. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is that I'm going to play just with one controller, but I'm going to use 2 players. This is because the game just keep track of your inputs like it was a keyboard or something like that. As you can see, you can map the stick and the board just one for each action. And other thing I want to talk about is that if you want to learn the game, there's a guide on speedrun.com in the guide section, which is a Google document that will contain all the sections for the run, which you can learn just for seeing them. It's a 2D platformer, so it's not a big deal if you learn them there. So I'm going to start the run in 3, 2, 1, and go. Okay, first of all, we have the first skip. We are going to skip the cutscene and exit the snoring zone. Normally, when you need to just escape from the tree, well, Rayman and his friends are captured. And okay, this is the first level. We don't have the ability to attack yet, so we're going to save the firing, and she's going to give me the power for punching for some reason. This is really dumb. Yeah, you just have these things that are lumps. These are like the coins in Mario, but in this thing it gives us to save electrons, which is the main collector of the game. In these electrons, we need to save 130 in normal instances, but we're going to do a really weird sequence break later in the round, which cuts the electrons to 50. So we're going to collect 50 from rescuing from cages and collecting lumps. So in this level is 100. I'm going to collect more just in case something went bad. And as you can see, there's a slide, and this is a really weird technique called speed drift canceling. And there's one right here, which is YYB. The name of this is because in Rayman Legends you have this as well, and this got discovered in Rayman Legends, not in Origins, but it works as well. And the thing with that is because when the game got launched on Wii U, someone discovered that you can preserve your momentum while doing the aerial kick. And we have the countdown, we have selections, and we have this like animation we have to do. And if we get the exact number of lumps, we can do a frame perfect input and skip that animation. Right here, I'm going to skip to the title screen, and when I'm doing that, it's because there's an animation at the end of each level from which electrons we collect. Okay, so now we have Geyser Blow at the second level. We are going to collect here 300 lumps to get 2 electrons, and we are going to save the 2 secret cages for this level and the final one. We have this one, and it's pretty cycle based, this game, in some areas. And something that you will notice is that there's this animation in every single cage. Each character has one, and we are going to use the 3 main characters, Rayman, Glowbox, and the Tinsies. Although the Tinsies and Glowbox, we're going to use it for other purposes than going through the levels. Mainly because with Glowbox can perform a really powerful glitch that we're going to use the next level and on most of the run. And the Tinsies we're going to do is mainly because we're going to do some damage boosters to do data abuse. But I'm going to explain that later. Okay, something to talk about this level is that is, as I say, pretty cycle based. But the thing is, at the end of the level, we have a pre-take cycles, which we need to kill 4 of those enemies. And we're to kill them in the order of punching 1, then these we are going to push the other ones, and we're going to do that. Okay, I didn't get it, the strat is really tight. And it saves about 13 seconds. Which is a pretty big time save for a 2D platformer. Okay, and I want to explain something before entering the next level. And it's that there's a powerful glitch called the bubble bug glitch. This glitch is done by using the secret players, and there's a bubble mechanic, like in New Super Mario Bros. Wii and these 2 games. When if you enter to a bubble, you can save your partner. So when that happens in this game, and you carry over them like this, and you enter to a bubble, you can still carry them. And Rayman has no collision when he's punching, so he can go through walls. But you're still vulnerable to enemies and the level hazards, so you need to be careful when you collect things and go through objects like this. And you can still enter rooms and all those things. The only bad part about this glitch is that it's pretty hard to control Rayman, since you don't see most of the length of the level. And some load times take longer because you didn't get the checkpoints. You need to load other parts of the level that you didn't play because you skipped them. And there's a door right here. Okay, and also something I forgot to explain is that there's a barrier, and you need to kill the enemies before just getting the cage. Some of the tunes. And for this level, we are going to collect 150 lumps. And as you can see in the input display, I'm using the second C4 glowbox and using the other shoulder buttons. Okay, and another important stuff that I didn't mention is that we are going to collect these coins, since give us 25 electrons. Sorry, give us these lumps. Okay, I have the exact amount with Rayman, so I'm going to try to do the frame perfect input. And every time I enter through the rescue last cage, I'm going to start mashing a ton to catch the first frame. I didn't get it, the frame perfect. But there's a frame that I can skip that animation. And it's because when you got the final lump in the level, you can frame perfectly time it and skip it. So in this level, we're going to use as well the bubble bug glitch. And something to explain about entering to a bubble state that it will be relevant later. It's that when you press bubble again, or the appearing button, which the game calls it like that, you literally disappear the second player. But when you perform another action and you died, for example, instead of doing that, you will be appearing again. Like you don't die for some reason, and oh, I didn't grab the checkpoint. So to do this, and in this level I'm going to grab 150 as well. Okay, I'm going to be more careful here. Okay, in some rooms that you use bubble block, you can also use the 2 players to do like 2 things at the same time. And in this case, we're going to use bubble block again. And in some instances, when you don't have a you have a ceiling, you can do that because the ceiling is pushing you back in bounds. Okay, in this room I'm not going to use Globos at the same time as Rayman, since it's really inconsistent sometimes, the speed of the water falling. And if you remember this game, there's a ending section when you need to collect a ton of lumps. But we can skip them with Volgo Glitch. And this is the level. Right and simple. Also to mention something, if you watch a ton of Rayman lanes, for example, you will remember there is a technique or glitch called break boosting. We're not going to use break boosting just for one abuse at the end of run, but it's because it's somehow faster than doing the slide. Okay, and it's time for my favorite level of the run, and it's one of the hardest as well. And it's going to be a really technical on the start, so I'm just going to concentrate a bit. There we go, I got it. So that platform moves in a really weird cycle. When you enter in a certain part of the level, the game starts loading that part. And it's really dumb, because sometimes you can fall, sometimes you can go through the platform, and sometimes you can do other stuff. And the intended way to clear this room is basically ground pounding, and that thing can bounce you off the tables, but you can just spin jump every time and, you know, get into it. And this level we're going to collect 300 looms. And something to drive for cut completely that it's really crucial for this run is that, as you can see, I collect these like queen big lumps that are sleeping. When I collect them, the lumps are red, and when I hit an enemy, they give me 2 lumps. And also, the normal lumps get me 2 when they're red. So there's something really important with the lump count with that. And a property that I'm going to use right now in this part is that when I use it, I can stop my momentum and stall in the air for a bit. And for this part specifically, it gives me the necessary time to grab the ledge. So instead of sliding down the wall, we can just stall in the air with the kick. So yeah, there's the count. And for the next level, there's something that there's going to be for the rest of the run. And basically, at the end of each world will be a... Oh, sorry if my dog is barking a bit, and he's going to try to make... I can't do anything about it, so sorry about that. Yeah, every time at the end of each world, you have like a level that is like similar to an auto-scroller, because basically you need to collect a ton of looms to get the lectins, and we can skip them. So yeah, we're going to collect them to collect the necessary amount of looms. In this case, is 175. And we can go faster in these levels, but these tentacles with spikes and ice prevent us from going faster than this. And the only part that you can skip is in Peeping Hot, but for in the Ice World. But this is because you use Bubble Bug Leech for them. Okay, and we're coming to the first data abuse instances. Some of these are really flashy, but some of them are really simple, like this one. So when you go off screen and bubble with Kukulawaks or the second player, you're going to die. So we need to die 8 times, use the 3rd time. Just skip them. And these are the mosquito levels. So these are basically underscores that are like ship level, like a ship level. And if you remember the first Rayman, there's like a dash that you can do with the mosquitoes. But in this game there's no dash in this game, so you're not going to see that. So they're just autoscores. And it's a shame because in the first Rayman game the mosquitoes are really fun to control. Okay, we're going to the second world, and this is crazy bouncing. This was one of the most annoying levels before the discovery of Bubble Bug Leech, which was discovered this year. And something to say is that if you go off screen while the Bubble Bug Leech is active, you can basically kill yourself by going up for 3 seconds, and this like a thing that happens with Metro Dead, that the game detects, oh, you're advanced, I'm going to kill you because you're not supposed to be there. So that happens here again when the game detects that your collection is inside of the ceiling. So yeah, and you may notice that I skipped this fairy, and we are going to skip some of these fairies, but the cutscene is only skippable with this one because the floor is the ceiling of the floor in the down ceiling. I don't know how to say it, explain it better, but the down part is really low that you can actually go under the trigger and just go to them. But in the other cases, no matter how low or up you go, you can skip the introduction for the fairy. But we are going to skip the fairies in some of the latest worlds, but there's one that we can't figure out how to skip. I'm sorry, the first one that gives you obviously the punching power up. And this one that we skip gives us the flying power up. And most of you are wondering, well, what happened with that power up when you basically don't get it? Well, the game actually gives you the power after beating this level for no reason, even though you don't rescue a fairy. Okay. So now we are into Best Original Skull, which it's my least favorite level in this run. We're going to use Bubble Bug. Just skip most of this section. And in the first room, at first I was like, someone discovered this double bug glitch. I was wondering, well, this level could be faster because it's really short, but in this section you need to the flying power up, and it was like testing and discovered that you can use it here. And it was like, damn, what happened? And then someone is like, well, you have the power up after beating each level. So if you skip a fairy, for some reason you get the power up, even if you didn't save her. And in this level, we are going to save the other cage, but the other 2 cages. This is the other one. This one is really tricky because normally you can go in the back, but if you time a really well wall jump and then hit them with a kick, you're going to kill them, but it's really tricky to do. And funnily enough, in this part, Globox died twice. The first one is because you put him in the bubble state, and the other one it's because he touched the top ceiling, so he used that twice in that part. Okay, and by the way, in the abuse stages, I'm going to teach you how to count to 1 to 8 in Spanish, just to make it more interesting. So I just want to see the chat counting with me. 1 is uno. 2 is dos. 3 es tres. 4 is cuatro. 5 is 5. 6 is 6. 7 is 7. And 8 is 8. And every time we go into these therapies, we get like a text box, which one is in the, there's a 2 texts, leave or stay in the level. The first one is in the right and the other one is on the left, so it's kind of confusing sometimes to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And by the way, most of the levels that we skip are auto scrollers or are too long to just do it on a run. If we got to the electrons levels from this world at least, and in each of these levels we're going to collect 175, with the only exception of the last world, because that level got the check basically for the 50 electrons count at the end. And okay, the next level will be another dead abuse level. But in most mosquito levels, with the exception of the first one, which is Hi-Ho Mosquito, you can basically kill Rayman because there's a hole at the start. And you can use the sliding technique that I tell you at the start. And the only one of the levels that the mosquito levels that we couldn't skip is the final one, because you know it's the final level. Why will you try to skip them? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 y 8. Now, something that I didn't tell you that is really tricky is that in some of these, some of these interviews, we're going to use two-player mode, and the most flashy one is in this world. The next one is not as flashy because in most worlds we're going to skip to do the first level, skip 3, which is the next two, which most of the time I use really long levels. And the final one is the mosquito level, which is an auto-scroller. And we're going to collect 150 looms here, which at the end of the level we're going to make the count to 37 electrons, sorry. And there's a coin up here, and then we're going to meet down to these things. And we're going to skip the saving fairy, as I said. And we need to be careful here to go up the ceiling, but not as far as... Because remember, when you go really far off screen, the game basically kills you. So the thing is, you need to align like Rayman's foot to not kill him. Yeah. I think that was the exact name of lumps that I need. So I'm going to mash really hard. Wait. Okay, I need to redo the level because I wasn't careful enough. And things like that can happen. If you break the cage really fast before the lumps come out, you don't get the lumps. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't, so it's kinda like inconsistent. And I could prevent that if I pay attention to the lump count. So yeah, we're going to do the level again. And also, the cage that we skip from that room is one of the fastest in the game. However, the ice physics prevents you to get the bubble block glitch consistently because you need to set it up. You need to carry glove box and then okay, that was really scary. I was a bit low, but we made it, so it's fine. And as I said, it's really tricky to get that. And if you got into the part that you change size, okay, if you enter to a part that you change size, you basically can't escape from that. So you basically need to repeat the level from the start. So there's a tricky part. Yeah. Next we have another database using 2 players. We're going to use the off-screen to our advantage. But in the next level we're going to choose something really cool. Despite being a database. The visual cue that I use here is that I go to a ramp and spin attack with glove box. Basically do that 8 times. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, for the next one, this one we are going to push glove box into a section that changes the side in the first room, and we are going to basically wall jump into a section. And when the screen goes down, remember that cherry. because we're going to kill Rayman in that part of the cherry, and it's really tricky. It's not that hard. It's just tricky to do because again you need to push Globox, and while Globox is dying, the thing that you need to do is while the level is do this fade out, you need to press jump or attack with Globox to not make disappear him. Because remember, every single time that you're in bubble state and you bubble again without pushing other actions, you're going to practically disappear Globox. And with the things is they go with the weight is really low, so when you're doing that, basically they are just fighting with the stage. That was a bit of lag. And this is a level that I tell you that we're going to use Bubble Block. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, and something funny that happened in this level in my PB is that I was on world record pace, but I died with that dragon. That dragon hit me, and I lost 22 seconds. So that basically cost me the world record because my PB is 20 seconds behind world record. So that basically gives any possibility for me to get world record. And yeah, we're going to basically kill Rayman 8 times because he's the most hero section. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho. And also something that I love about this level is that in the background you have a ton of things that are basically reference to Mexico. Because you have piñatas, you have chiles and all that kind of stuff. And now we're going to use Bubble Bug, but just to get to this room that is at the start of the level, just for that we don't need Globox again, because this is the only fight that didn't find a reliable way to skip. The first one, you can't escape them because it gives you one of the most basic movement options. So yeah. Now we're going to spin, and we're going to use down here. We're going to use slide. And something I forgot to say is that you can skip the transition for sword doors by doing the slide, but it's really tricky. And I almost got a cool move back there. And in these rooms there's something really stupid and is that these fireballs works during a cycle, so we can use faster movement because we skip the coins that we need to rescue the electron from the loom count. So we're just going to play in intended way some parts. Some of them we can spin, but they're going to be tighter cycles. And I mainly collect the heart because of that. And also, if you ramp up really fast and you get into one of the cycles, you can also save the fairy early. But I didn't get fast enough. Yay! Okay, and now this fairy gives us the power to swim underwater. And we're going to save another Electric's cage, which is right here. Okay, in this cage, there's something that you need to see, and there's like these trails that you need to see that are literally visual cues to see those fishes. Because again, this one's moving through a cycle. And also the last section before the last cage also runs into a cycle, which is just one. It's not a big deal if you don't get to a good cycle. You just need to be a bit patient. You load about like 1 to 4, 5 seconds maybe. Okay, we're going to activate this bomb to kill all these enemies at once. And the funny part about that is that the game makes like a pretty nice sound effect when you got strike, which is pretty similar to the strike sound effects in Wii Sports. It's funny to me that's into the game. And okay, we are going to get to a most tricky abuse because we're going to see the Teensies, but we're going to do a dodge boost, this one, and we're going to bubble and then jump with Rayman to kill him in the ceiling. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and this level also is pretty similar to this, but you are going to add a speed underwater with the Electron and going back with Rayman. So this is pretty hard to do it consistently, and it's the hardest they're abusing the game by far, because you need to be really patient, because if you go into that hole, you basically got stuck and you need to go back and go forward with the Teensy. And sometimes the game doesn't recognize that you jump before hitting the Teensy or dive, so the game basically just appeared the Teensy for some reason, which is kinda annoying to deal with, because you need to get the other Teensy. And now we have the sub-level, which is Bad Bubbles and Beyond. It's basically like another scroller for collecting looms. That's it, that's nothing really special. And this is the most boring one, because you need to go underwater, you need to dive, you need all these things, and you can go faster than these tentacles, but you are on risk for dying every single time you try to go faster, because they can move. Like, you need to wait here. And if you die, you need to do the level from the start. Also, this grab. You need to kill him from the bottom. You basically can use bubble bug here, but the thing is, you lose the bubble bug state while you go underwater and up the water, because you need to spin by going in and out the water, so it's really tricky. And I think it can be viable for game runs, but it would be really inconsistent. So yeah. Okay, and we're going to the mosquito level, which the name of the level is fine where it is. Kinda weird the name, but you know, it's a game, so no one really cares. Okay, we're going to Terabius. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 y 8. And now we have into the last 2 worlds. This last world only contains 4 levels. We're going to skip the mosquito levels and one of the longer levels. Okay, I'm going to restart because it's pretty cycle-based down part, and it's really tricky to get this because every time you enter to a room, Rayman is going to slow the Wild King. But the thing is, this one it's significantly longer than the other ones, so you need to really time it. But it's get me off every time I get here because it's longer, so you don't expect to do it. And now we have to call Globox to Bubble Globox again. And we're going to collect 150 lumps. And with this one, we're going to have the 50 electrons to end the game. And we need to be careful with this one because in some sections you are faster than the fairy, so you need to be careful. Don't go off screen. I remember when I missed world record once because I go too fast, and we're going to skip them. And normally in this section you need to rescue those Globox, and that fairy gives you the power to walk in through walls. Kinda like Sonic when he had Saturn speed. Okay. Wait to collect a coin. And we are going to rescue the last electric cage. And most of the part of the remaining of the run, it's their abuse. But we have the sequence break in Riding of the Storm. This sequence break is basically just their abuse to bypass the cutscene, which is basically the check for the 120 looms. And if you get it here with the 120 looms, we basically unlocks the last world. And if you don't have this 130, it unlocks the other part of the games that they are the remaining 5 bosses. Which the Golden is my favorite one. And we fight Game of Way of the Lectunes, which it's really peculiar because we don't need to collect lumps. It in this level is actually slower when we have the remaining Lectunes, so we're going to just save the last one. We theorize that using Bubble Bug here will be a bit faster, but when the wind physics actually push Rayman in, so it's a bit faster than using Bubble Bug because of the wind. And you can go faster than this, but the problem is that you're in damage to fall or go faster than the tentacles that can kill you. There's this enemy. So after completing this level, when we actually do is rushing really fast and exiting to the level to don't see the wave of Lectunes loom count. So we actually see the animation for the only time it runs from the Lectunes getting in. And fun fact, the exiting level, it's only viable on PC because console has slower loading times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 y 8. Okay, something that I forgot to say at the start of the run. There are two things. The first one is that this is the first time in... Oh my god. This can be bad. Whoa. Okay, I have a backup save file for every single level, so let me close the game and just change some save files. So give me a second. Okay, Brainstorm. So I'm going to start the game again to prevent this. Sorry for this, it's a technical problem with this game. And I need to remap the bubble controls because it's mapped to the F2 key on the keyboard and not to the controller. So every time you enter the game again, you need to change your configuration for that, which is really dumb in my opinion. So change that. Start again. So we're back. And sorry for that technical problem. This happened to me a lot when I was running for a world record pack. Oh no. Dos. Tres. And something I want you to tell you is that what happened is you punch these tenses, they are going to punch you back. So I'm going to restart this. This is a little silly thing that can happen with these ones. So, yeah. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we have 2 more data abuses. And the last one we are going to do is in Make No Mistake. This one we are going to avoid. And in the other one we are going to use the technique that I say in at the start of the run, which is brake boosting. Brake boosting basically works by improving a dash while you're running. Let the stick in the neutral position and then crouch. This would do like a brake animation, like this one. And when you input down, you got a massive amount of speed for no reason. So we couldn't die in the first enemy over and over again because there's like a Hearthstone stage. This one there's like these things pushing me back. I didn't get it, so we're going to see. I didn't get it too. It's really precise, so 3. I didn't get it again. I'm pretty consistent with this strat. I get it there. And it's actually pre-used in time trials. Because yes, this game after you complete, you can see, you beat the level, you will see a clock. If you hit them, you enter into the time trial mode. And when you enter into a time trial, you basically, but it sounds like time trial, you need to complete the level as fast as you can. And you get a reward that is a trophy and a lectune, but complete the level again is slower for 8%. But if you're interested, there are time trial leaderboards in the speedrun.com page if you want to see them, and we're going to use Goldbug to skip the cutscene and the robot boss fight, because if you remember, you get a little cutscene when it says the magician. This one, it's bad at the end of the game, so basically you collect looms for the magician. And we're at the final level of the game right now. We're going to skip this cutscene, and we have a mosquito level, which is an auto-scroller. This is the worst way to end the game for speedrun. And it's not hard. There's a really silly strategy that is go to the top and then sometimes defeat some enemies. And actually it's something that happens during a race in France. We at the time was the top 1 and 2 runners, which was Twin and Blood, if I remember the name of the other guy. Twin lost the race not because he played bad. He lost the race just because he died once, and I died because I wasn't paying attention to the game. So basically he lost the race because he died in this level particularly. And also something to note about the mosquito is that this is the default speed that he shoots, but if you mash it really quickly, you actually can shoot really fast. And basically this means that the shooting speed for the mosquito is depends on how fast you can kill your A button in the controller. And also something to note is that the bullets for the mosquito bounces in metallic objects. And another thing is that you can suck enemies, bombs, and other stuff, and launch them. But I generally don't use it. Oh my god, that was really bad. I wasn't paying attention at all. So basically what I said is that he basically got slower when he grabs a bunch of enemies. Yes. I'm not going to write that queen because for this category we don't need the electrons. And there are already full game categories for this game. You have 103 electrons, which is basically 80% without the rating of storm skip, which is a abuse that I did before when the game basically the cycle just corrupts anything. And you have this mission section, but if you're careful and go up and down, they can really don't go for you. Like in this case, it's somehow easy, but in the latest section of this level, it's pretty tricky because you have so many missiles and you need to track all of them. And also in this section, in this part, if you go further when the airship goes into the screen, it basically kills you because you're not supposed to be inside of the airship. So that's kind of lame in my opinion. It's fine. This is the only difficult section on this level. And there's an enemy that is going to appear from here. Okay, and time ends when the airship gets contact with the three of the final cutscene, it's going to hit like the center of the world. So that's time. Okay, this is the final cutscene for the game. I love this one so much. It's just catchy. And yeah, that was Rayman Origins. And thanks for GG's in the chat.
That was absolutely awesome. A really fun and a lovely way to finish off day one. Where can the lovely people find you on Twitch and social media?
In Twitter is 3L_cloud with an A instead of a O. And like in the name of the stream. And in Twitch, I'm going to write something in chat so people can follow me. Because I'm going to grind for world record, or at least try to get it. So yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for giving up your time and for showcasing this for us today. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on. And that I'm afraid is going to be it for day one. We have got a raid target, so please stick around as we head over to raid a friend of the channel. But from everyone here at Pixel Perfect Marathon number 2, thank you very much for watching. Thank you to all of our lovely runners today, including, of course, El Claude. And thank you to our volunteers. We will be back tomorrow from let me get my time zones right before I say this. silly time zones, right. We will be back tomorrow from 10 a.m. Central European time, so go have a nice sleep, get some rest, and yeah, tune in tomorrow. Oh, but as I say, we have got a raid target, so make sure you stick around and show them some love as well.
Before ending the stream here, I'm going to tell you that there's a task for player task for this game in the Wii version, which is one of the coolest tasks that I have ever seen. And it's most of the strata are faster than using bubble glitch because the loom count. And they use a lot the perfect loom count and as well the frame perfect input at the end, which is really hard to RTA. But yeah, you can type on YouTube Rayman Origins task, and generally it's going to be the first search.
Sweet, yeah, definitely check it out. But yep, that is going to do us for today. We will see you tomorrow. We do hope you have a pixel perfect night's sleep. See you tomorrow.